Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are going to tactically break down the Barcelona bashing by PSG, the 4-1 quarterfinal second leg, which was unexpected because Barcelona was supposed to be the favorites at Camp Nou. Anyhow, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the video. It really helps with the engagement. So without any further ado, let's just get into the basics of the game. So Xavi and Luis Enrique both manage their teams in a 4-3-3 shape. This formation, again, very hybrid. We all know that these fullbacks really like going up ahead and they like retracting back as well to defend. PSG were offering much more dynamism with those midfielders who were constantly shifting their ranks amongst one another. Zaire Emery again maintained his position on the right. He was used for that physical embodiment of a proper defensive midfielder, which he can offer. In this game, Kang Lee not starting for PSG really worked well for them. I think Zaire Emery was winning duels against the likes of Gundogan, De Jong, and literally kept them silent when PSG were on the ball. And that's what really worked for them. Zaire Emery was creating those turnovers and transitions for PSG in the first 10 minutes when it was a little end to end. And throughout the game, we saw this theme. The theme of this fixture was scrappiness. We saw a lot of scrappiness in the middle of the pitch, and that's something which was not really astonishing to watch, to be honest, because both these teams are elite teams that they'd want to fight for the ball, and they were very open spaces. You would see less cohesion when the teams were getting on a transition. Again, the midfielders, Vitinha and Ruiz, they put in a lot of hard work in this fixture, specifically. Ronald Araújo, again, he brought down Barcola in a very insignificant fashion, which was least expected. He was lucky that it wasn't a penalty, it was outside the box, but he should have never brought him down with the weight of the arm around his shoulder. That's what really turned the event around. Barcelona literally in the first 37 minutes, even though PSG had the possession, Barcelona scored a goal, right? They scored a goal. If it wasn't for the red card, I'm sure they would have nullified PSG's attacking threat because on the low block, Barcelona were looking really good, to be honest. Now, I know Barcola and Dembele were really threatening on the flanks, but at the same time, Kunde and Cancelo on so many occasions were matching their intensity, right? Now, in these fixtures, when you know you are facing elite attacking teams, you cannot afford to even have a marginal error. You cannot resort to individual errors. You cannot have a lapse in focus. But again, Kunde let go of Bacola for that goal. Bacola came here, and Cancelo and Rafinha were stuck to the box. Dembele again made a very good underlapping run in that gap, and he literally, with his individual brilliance, at a one shot stop, just converted that goal. That goal came in when Orua was red carded, he was brought off, and Inigo Martinez was there in the team. And Yamal was out of the squad as well. He was brought off because Xavi wanted a little more defensive solidity in the team, knowing that now they had a 10-man situation. A manager cannot really train a squad to perform or react in a situation where they lose a player. So the best situation, the best way to avoid this is not to bring down players knowing that you have a goal in hand. And a 10-man squad can literally do nothing in such a high stakes game against a team which has one of the most ferocious, paciest strikers in the world, Dembele and Mbappe. And Barcola, again, an upcoming talent, man. These guys totally got deceived in that situation. And PSG, everyone knew from that time round, PSG have a good opportunity to get into the game. Orua was literally winning the duels. The first ball against Mbappe when Marquinhos was on the ball and he was trying to find him and play long. Kubarsi was given that responsibility of denying him any sort of a run inside that box. And Kubarsi, with his physical presence, was able to enact that to a certain extent. So in the first half, the way PSG were performing, even with the red card that Barcelona had sustained, I still felt there were moments where they should have been a little more convincing with the ball. But again, those chances never really came on to that level. I felt the XG behind the chances wasn't really that high. Again, PSG really rely on the pace of these wingers, which is how the first goal really occurred. But again, I think they should utilize their midfielders in a better way in open play situations as well, which is where I think Luis Enrique would do better in bringing in gangly, but I totally get his approach. He wanted a bit more physical presence in the midfield to silence De Jong. Now, Barcelona in attack before the red card situation occurred, right? Inigo was out, Orua was there, Kubarsi was there. Now, even in this situation, right, it was a little haphazard because Barcelona never really enjoyed a lot more possession. It was just the transitions which they were going through. Gundogan was here in this situation. Leva would be here trying to occupy the space in between the center halves. And relatively, I think he had a 50-50 game in terms of winning the duels and winning the first balls and holding up really well. Rafinha, man, Rafinha. This is that one guy who was on the left. Yamal was here for that 13th minute goal. Yamal, with that touch, he deceived Mendes, literally went past him. Rafinha was here in the situation, made a run here. Hakimi tried tracking him back, but he was a second too late in intercepting that ball. And from that low range, near post, Rafinha converted that goal, and Barcelona were 1-0 with a 2-goal lead, a 4-2 aggregate in the game in the 13th minute. And we all thought that Barcelona might win this one. But the situation, no one knew that Orua would be out of this game and Inigo would be playing in on his behalf. I think if Christensen would have not been suspended, I think Xavi would have preferred him because he's a ball playing centre half, and maybe he would have instead asked Kubarsi to be manning and marshalling that defense at the back, or maybe he would have asked De Jong to shift to the back. Something of that sort would have occurred. Again, Yamal was put out. Inigo was instated. Orua was on a red card. Rafinha was shifted to the right. Pedri was shifted on the left flank. Now, this is a situation where I felt Pedri still was trying so hard on the ball when they were trying to overload on the left flank. You would see this sort of a setup. And Dembele would come back. He would be in the situation. Zaire Emery would be here. Marquinhos would be here. Lucas Hernandez would be here. Mendes would be here. Rafinha would be here. Right? Bakolo would be here. And Kunde would be here, trying to be a little more cautious in that situation. Right? So on the ball, Cancelo and Pedri. Cancelo would pass the ball to Pedri, and Pedri would try breaking through, but then Hakimi, so many occasions, he would bring Pedri down. And that's how they really got the set pieces, the few set pieces that they got in the second half. But again, man, they were in a very frantic situation. They had the nerves, and we could clearly see that this is not really going to work well for Barcelona, right? But Lewandowski, I was still impressed with the hold up that he was offering in the game. He played the full 90 with all his vigor and grace. Still, in a way, we did. The neutrals do feel bad for Barcelona for what really happened to them. Rafinha, again, this is one tactic which I don't really sit well with. I think Rafinha should have never been shifted to the right. He should have been on the left. Maybe they should have brought on another winger early on in the game. Pedri again, maybe again, this is just my opinion. De Jong, I know, is a very influential presence, but in this game, I don't think De Jong had a really good outing. He seemed more like a passenger in so many sequences. In fact, after the red card, Gundogan grew more into the game in an offensive role. Gundogan was pushing himself to that extent. He created so many chances. Two crucial key passes came in from him. He let Leva go, one with that left shot and one inside the box. When Ferran Torres came on and Pedri was shifted out, right? In that situation too, Gundogan let go of Ferran, and Ferran, I don't know, man, but his first touch was so off. His first touch, I don't know what did he do. The ball went behind him, and he could not do anything in that situation. Hakimi came and cleared the ball for a corner. Marquinhos is the standout player for me. He did really well in the situation. Ferran Torres again, not a very impactful performance from him. I don't know what is up with Ferran Torres. On the left, he doesn't look like the same player that City signed from Valencia. He is not the same player. He has lost some part of his game, and you could clearly see in this game he was struggling to even control the ball and get the best touches. And then that one ball which came in from Hakimi on the counter, it was a similar setup of this sort. Inigo was ahead, Kobarsi was ahead, I think, yeah. They were all in a corner like situation, and Marquinhos cleared the corner. Hakimi gets the ball. Hakimi is making that run. Cancelo's behind him. Inigo's here. Um, Mbappe is making the run. So they were all running in tandem, in sync. Dembele was right here, and Hakimi, Mbappe, literally Hakimi passed the ball to Mbappe and he converted a beautiful goal yet again. Right. So we all knew that PSG can be very ferocious on counters, especially against a 10-man Barcelona. So overall, in this game, it wasn't a very good quality game at all because of the scrappiness that was being brought to the game. I think both the teams were trying to get on the ball too often, and in that moment, they were playing the ball a bit too fast, and they were losing the ball too often. Right, for Barcelona, this was the theme. For PSG, they were getting on possession, they were getting the ball, but again, they were not really convincingly breaking that final low block, right? They were not able to get past that low block, and in that situation, individual brilliance is what they relied on with that Vitinha goal, with the Dembele goal, and with the penalty and Mbappe's countering transition, right? These goals came, but I still felt PSG would have performed differently if it was a full man Barcelona. And to be honest, the way the game was carried out, the way Barcelona fought with a 10-man team, I could see this one out in a way that Barcelona would have actually won this game, to be honest. I think Barcelona's manager, Xavi, had the better of Luis Enrique till the 37th minute when the first goal came in from Dembele. Losing a man is not easy, and especially in a high stakes fixture in the Champions League, this can actually take a toll on you.